And the resocketing is complete. We're completely cleaned up, new sockets installed, and the back of it is all cleaned up. And there was some funkiness up here. I got a trace fixed right there, and all of the other ones are beeped out. There's a couple fixes right there. But that is the only trace damage, so that's not bad, considering. All populated. So the next thing I need to do is I need to verify all of these chips. So that will be done. And then we'll put this back together and see where we're at. Alright, and guys, the memory board is complete. All of the ROMs verified good. I cleaned all of the legs. I had to break out the Dremel and the brass wheel to clean these things. They were pretty nasty. But they all verified good. All of the RAM were good. All of these ICs were good. And this guy was good. And I programmed 3 of them for someone who bought 3 off of me. So, Robby Roto decoders. So that is it. It's all put back together and everything is verified good that is socketed. So that's good. So we'll get back to putting this thing together and see where we get. Okay, so I have it put back together and we're getting still nothing. So I think I will pull out the CPU board and reset the chips on it. Reset everything and plug it back in and see what happens. Alright guys, I have a Wizard of War board set. That, to be honest with you, I bought it just for this purpose. It was known working. I'm testing Astrocade chips. Right here you can see this is my original Wizard of War one. And I've got one more Wizard of... my original one's in there. This was 100% working. And I verified that the speech chip did work. And I pulled it out of there. Because I don't want to be testing and turning power on and off and doing testing on this board set. And just turning it on and off with this chip in there. So I just removed this chip, put it away safely. Because those speech chips you just cannot get. Unless you buy a working board set. So, yep, it doesn't need to be in here. I did verify that it works though. But what I'm finding is this Astrocade chip is no good. He's got one good one and one bad one. So I've got one of the Wizard of War ones in there with one of his Robby Roto ones in there right now. And this is working, but this one doesn't work. That's a dead Astrocade chip, unfortunately. So I just spent most of today making this harness for Wizard of War. Wizard of War has 3 audio channels, and here I have audio coming out. I have channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. Channel 3 is the speech channel. Here, I'll put the camera up on the tripod and show you what channel 2 sounds like and all that. So let me put you up here. And zoom in. And I'm going to turn the volume up just a touch. And I will switch to channel 2. That's channel 2. It's just a little different tone of that this. And that sound effect is on this channel. Yeah, see, there's more sound effects on this channel. Cool. And then speech is channel 3, which I do not have the chip in there, so there's no speech. So anyway, I'm going to get this board working 100%, but it's going to be minus an Astrocade chip. I'll fix it using mine, and then it'll be working, but he's going to have to source an Astrocade chip. So, but at least he'll know that the board set works minus the one chip. So yeah, I spent most of today putting this harness together for Wizard of War. Yeah, so it's cool. We'll go ahead and turn it off. And unhook it. Okay. And I'm going to write dead on the inside of this one to keep it separate from the other one. Actually, I'm going to get my red paint, put a red paint dot on it. There we go. Signified no good. You know what I think I'll do is I'll get the green paint in my Wizard of War originals. I'm going to put a green paint dot on them. I don't know which one in there is mine. Yeah, I just removed the old speech chip. I don't want that thing getting cooked. This is that's his good one. So we'll go ahead and put another green dot on mine. Okay. Yep, that's mine. And I'll show you, I'll put the dead one in. And it won't even boot. Or wait, it will boot with it in one position. But in the other position it will not. Oh, that's the good one. I just put the good one back in the board. So put the dead one in there. And you'll see what it does. See, depending on which position these are in, this is my good one. This is the dead one. Depending on which position it's in, I can't remember. But depending on which position, if this one's over here, it'll boot, but channel 2 just won't work. If it's in the other way, it won't even boot. So, I'll show you. Okay, And here we go. Yep, see? It won't even boot that way. That's what it does with that Astrocade chip in that slot. It's just really super goofy. So, I will go ahead and turn this off. Yeah, the speaker is on 2. It's on the channel 2. So, I'll swap those around. I'll just swap positions with these guys, and it'll boot, but there'll be no sound on channel 2. Okay. Okay, and here we go. See, there it booted, but you will not hear any sound. See, it did boot. And it did, there is sound. You know what, maybe it's a connection issue. 'Cause now it seems to be working. Okay, this is pretty odd because it was not working and now it is. So maybe we have a bad socket. That's channel 2. It's channel 1. You know what I think it might be? Because I saw this on a Space Zap repair. This might have a function that's not used in the position on the board that it's in. So it might work this way, but not the other way, if that makes any sense. If you got it in the one position, it'll work, and if you got it in the other position, it won't work, because there's something faulty in it. That's channel 1. Okay. It is flat out working right now. The Astrocade chip is working. So, what's going on? What is going on here? So I'm going to swap the spots again. Weirdness. Okay, I'm plugging it back in. And it does the same crap. There's something up. Something is not right with that Astrocade chip. See, it's working on channel 2 and channel 1. There's something with that Astrocade chip that's not right. 'Cause that's why it does this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to put my good one back in, the original. Because there's something funky with that Astrocade chip. I'm positive of it. Okay. And perfect. Yeah, it's just the chip. The chip with the red dot is funky. A bit funky. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I have this boiled down to 2 boards. I was just running Wizard of War. This is Wizard of War, Wizard of War, Wizard of War, Wizard of War. These 2 are the only boards that are not Wizard of War. These are both known good, and I've replaced the sockets. I think the problem is on the memory board. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull the ROM board out. I'm going to put my my extender in, and I'm going to use the fluke on this thing, the Z80 pod on the fluke, and see if I can access the RAM and the ROM on the memory board. Good Sunday morning, everybody. It's time to get back at this guy. And I got my memory board out here, and I've started probing around on this guy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hook up the camera, focus it on the scope a little bit, and we'll probe some signals on this guy and see if anything looks out of place. Got the sniffles this morning. What are you yelling at me for back there? Okay. Alright, let's fire the game up. Well, the board is now on. These are address bits. I'm just probing the EEPROMs right now. Address bits. Data bits. EEPROMs look good. The problem's not with the EEPROMs or the RAMs. They've been verified to be good. So I need to look at logic. Okay, that's garbage right there. That's the that is the direction pin on the 245 for the NV RAM. This is the A side of that chip. It looks like it's always enabled. That should not be always enabled. Okay. That's got some funny signals. One of them's just dead. That's a floating signal. That's the direction pin. And the enable is always low, which that shouldn't always be low. It just shouldn't. Okay. These are 139s. The 139s are ROM selectors. That's the enable of the other 139. And it's not going to be doing anything because it's not enabled. Same thing. To LS08. Looks like there's only one gate used in this thing. Okay, here's a bad chip. This is a 08. It's an AND gate. You got a high, and then you got a signal. So this should have a signal. Should have a pulsing signal on it, and it's just low all the time. Got a low, a high. This should be low all the time. It is. And here's a 32. And here's an LS32 with a floating output. And this is the LS32. Here's the input, which is an OR gate. Input, input, and here's the output. Okay, that's an unused. And this is that's the first two chips over here in this line. The first two chips over here in this line is a 08 and a 32, and they're both bad. So you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to replace every one of these in this line. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. because I mean, if these two are bad, I don't have much hope for the future of these if they are good. You know, they're just not going to hold up. They're internally damaged with that alkaline stuff creeping into them. So I'm going to replace all of them. All right, guys. Good morning. I've made a decision, and it's the right decision. I'm replacing everything from here down. That's all getting wiped out, and I'm going to wet sand this like I did the other board, because there's a lot of crust. There's a lot of corrosion still on this board from this point down. So I'm going to clean that out. I'm going to give it another toothbrush scrubbing with some vinegar to wash away any of the possible corrosion into the future, and do this the right way. You know, it's all about doing it the right way. As if this were my game, and I try to look at all the repairs I do as if it was my game. I would not want that in my board, in my cage. This has to be cleaned off. So we'll get it. Everything's coming off. You know, if that part's bad and that part was bad, who's to say that alkaline leakage hasn't crept into these decoupling caps? What if one of those shorts over time? You know, if this is good now, one of these, if it's good now, what happens over time after it's been on for, you know, days or whatever, days down the road where it's run for a couple hours or whatever, you know. These things are going to fail. They're weakened. So we're going to replace all of this crap. Sand it down, clean it. Make it right. And I've got a good start on it. I've already been doing it. I have. I go to the man. I tell him the robot is what I am. But he just won. He said I was a fractious child. Distrusted, not trusted. And yes. Yeah. And I wanted to give a quick shout out, really quick. I just opened a Patreon account, a Patreon page yesterday, and the response already has been pretty overwhelming. I mean, I can't tell people, all of you, I can't tell you all how much I appreciate it. When you pledge, you're helping me in my quest to do this the right way. You know, clean all this crap off. All this takes time. All these parts I have to replace. You're helping in all of these replacement of parts and stuff, and just know how much I appreciate it. You know, so this is not a cheap thing I've gotten into, but I have such a passion for it, and it gets expensive buying parts to replace sometimes. You know, Helps me keep my service at a decent rate, I think. I appreciate it. You really gotta burn these things to get this corrosion that gets on these. Just makes these to where they don't hardly want to desolder. But they do. That's all I have. This side's always better. This side always desolders a little bit easier. And that just must be from the battery being up here. It leaked this way, so this side of the chips just got bombarded with the leakage. The crust that comes off of these when you remove them, there's so much crusty crap in there. I don't know if you can, not really doing it justice. There's just so much crust that is stuck in here, in these traces and everything. Just on this board, there's so much of that junk. Yeah. Lots of it. Oops. Lots of junk. Good thing is it's desoldering pretty good. I need to grab my phone because I need to take a quick picture of that. Because you know what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Jeez. Goodness gracious. Stubborn. This side just pretty nice. Pretty nice and easy. There's some junk stuck in there. That's all right. Well, looks like we're almost there. One more chip. Damn, I don't want to do nothing. That does not want to desolder. Wow. Man, those two. Really did not want to desolder. Yeah, okay. Absolutely crusty. Just ridiculous crust. Oh my goodness. No, those are breaking right off. Son of a bitch. You knew something like this would have to happen. Pretty sure I sucked up those little broken parts into this. Well, if I did, I got lucky and it went right in. All right, that's that. It's a disaster. Let's take a good look. Just corroded. So we're going to do our best to clean that up. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get some water, some sandpaper, and we'll see what we can do. Okie dokie. Arctic Chokey. So I got, this is all I could find, is 60 grit paper, which is pretty tough paper. But we'll just lightly go. We'll just do it lightly. I wish I had like a 200 grit, but I don't, and I'm not running out. So I'm going to use this 60, and I'm just going to take it easy, nice and light. I'm going to pour a little water over here. That was a lot of water, but just lightly. But you just smile. You said I was a precious child. Hey. Oh, it's true. I was on making out a man to you. You get this line of capacitors. Because I haven't felt this way from very I'm really not putting pressure down on this at all. I'm just kind of guiding it. I'm putting enough pressure on it to where it won't slip. And it's slipping a lot too. It's just, you don't want to put much pressure on this. Do it slowly rather than trying to grind down on it and do it fast. Just slowly. Nice and easy. I'm going to call that good enough. I need to go wash this and spray it with alcohol and then dry it really good. I'll be back and then we'll take a look.